So okay, this is my first try at doing this. I'm inviting you with me to 9 holes of golf at the Golfclub Schwechat. I'm a not so talented player playing off a 20 handicap, but I have fun. So this is every shot. Let's see, this is a par 4, the initial hole in the course. It's quite a tricky one because there's an out of bounds to the right, and when you're starting your game, you're always afraid of slicing the ball. Now in the evening I'm playing against the sun, but I turned out to be quite an alright shot. It went about 200 meters, landed a little bit left of the fairway, but I was quite happy with it. I've had worse first shots before. So I'm sorry about the camera position. I was just putting my mobile right there at my golf cart, and I could not always see really well. This was my first try at doing this, but okay, here I'm playing my 4 rescue. It was about 160 meters to the flag. I'm hoping that if I hit it right, I'm going to get it to the green. Unfortunately, I did not hit it right. I topped the ball a little bit. It didn't fly very high, but it rolled quite longer than I thought it was going to roll, and it ended up on the green edge. And from the position I am on the green edge, I'm thinking, well, I can putt this. Definitely better than chipping it, more exact. So I'm just going to have a long putt. It's uphill, as you can appreciate a little bit there, and there it goes. What I did not see was that it was going to break to the right, and I misjudged how much the uphill was going to break, so I putted a bit too far. It went about 4 meters too far. I'm trying to make the putt back. Let's see how well I can do that. Well, I just barely missed that, and I tap in for a bogey. But actually, I'm quite happy with a tap-in bogey right there. That's not too bad. I've had worse results. This is actually the hardest the hardest hole on the course. And starting out with a bogey at hole 1 is not that bad. I'm okay with that. Hole number 2. It's not rated as the most difficult hole. Number 1 is rated as the most difficult, but personally I think this is the most difficult one. Because it's quite long. It's on the border of being a par 5 to me. I don't think I've ever played this on par, or very rarely. Mostly I'm happy with the bogey here. And you need to drive it straight through that hole, because anything to the left or to the right, you risk staying in those bushes. I don't think you can see the ball flight right there, but it was quite a good ball flight. I hit that ball pretty well. It went quite far. I think my GPS said 204 meters. And it ended up being where the fairway goes a little bit to the right, so it rolled a little bit too far and went into the rough. But that's okay. I had about 170 meters to the green there. I usually would have taken a fairway wood if I was in the fairway, but being in the rough, I preferred to take my rescue, and that was a really bad shot. I completely pulled that. I mishit that. It went to the right. It caught one branch of one of those bushes to the left, and it only went about 120 meters. Or slightly over 100 meters, something like that. I remember I had about 70 meters to the flag right there, and I thought to myself, well, that's quite a strong sandwich. I should be able to pull that off and land on the green, but I had the club face too open, I think it was, and it went to the right instead of straight at the green, and instead of being at the green, I ended up on the green side bunker to the right. And that's not an easy bunker shot there, because as you see, I need to get the ball up pretty quickly for it to land on the green, and I was quite happy with the result right there. It rolled a little bit far, but you can never tell how much sand you're going to get. At least I can't. As you see, I rake the bunker afterwards. That's what you should be doing. And here it's a little bit downhill putt, so I barely tipped the ball, and it rolls and rolls and rolls, and I judged the distance actually quite well. It broke a little bit to the right, more than I expected, so I tap in for a double bogey. But from that position, from the bunker on, that was actually quite well played. I was quite happy with that. It was the shots before that I had completely messed up. Okay, here's a short par 3, 104 meters to the center of the green. The flag's a little bit towards the back, so it's going to be a little bit longer. I want to swing an easy 8 iron right there. I could probably swing a 9 iron as well, but I prefer to swing easy. And and also the tee was a little bit further back, so I think it was playing like 115 or something like that. I ended up a little bit towards the right side of the green. That green is quite well guarded. It has bunkers on all sides, and I end up putting too short. I left myself like about 2 meters for the second putt. I was thinking I was going to have to do a bogey, but I managed to get that one in, so that was a par. And a par that did not feel too well, actually, because that first putt was pretty bad. Okay, here's a typical risk and reward. It's not a long par 4, only 232 meters, but there's no line to the green. So you need to play around a penalty area to the left. And I usually take either a 5 or a 3 wood, depending on how I'm feeling. In this case, I took a 3 wood and tried to place it on the fairway right there where you see where the arrow is going. It worked quite well. I had about 60 meters to the center of the green from right there. I'm thinking that's a 3/4 sandwich, at least for me. And my sandwich had not worked before, so I'm hoping it's going to work this time. This is what I have in my mind as I'm swinging, and I hit it, and I have almost too much ball or too good ball contact there because it just flies a little bit too far. And there's a downslope right behind the green or on that side of the green, and so my ball rolls off the green into the rough right there. So I need to chip it back on the green for my third shot and then putt it in. That's at least what I'm hoping, but it goes uphill, so I'm hoping that I'm going to get it high enough. Well, I don't chip it far enough, and it lands on that upslope, so that stops it completely. I would have hoped for a longer roll, but it didn't quite work out. But I'm okay with that. I have a chance to putt that in, and it's an almost sure 2 putt. And if I get lucky, it's a 1 putt. So it's going, the line is right, and at the last moment it breaks to the right for whatever reason. I did not see that coming, and it's just a tap in for bogey. Yeah, bogey is okay there. That I've often played par most of the time, actually, and I've even birdied that hole quite a few times. But okay, I can always take a bogey. At my handicap, you gotta be happy with the bogey. So this is the long par 3. It goes slightly uphill, and it has a green that is very uneven. And that tree that you see on the left is pretty much in the line of play. So you need to play around it or to the right of it, which I don't manage to do. It kind of goes through the tree. It hits a leaf, but luckily no wood. So it goes through it. It breaks it a little bit, or I think that it lost a little bit of momentum, which was okay because it landed pin high. Otherwise, it would have been too far. It's a little bit of an uphill chip again, and not a lot of green to work with. And I get annoyed at myself right there because that was a very, very bad chip right there. I didn't even make it to the green, and I'm figuring, come on, this is a practice round, so practice it. There was no one behind me. There you go. That's the way to do it. But of course, that was just practice. I continue playing with the ball. That's the ball in play. I'm right at the edge of the green. I putt towards the flag. It was like 3 meters or something like that. And I just barely missed. I tap it in for a bogey. But actually, this is quite a difficult par 3. So a bogey is not such a bad result. But it's just too bad that that chip was not the way that I hoped it was going to be. So, moving on to the next hole, it's again a rather long par 3, 156 meter. The flag was short. This is a really big green right there. So where the flag is makes a lot of a difference in how you're playing it. I'm playing a 5-iron right here. It's slightly downhill, but not too much. And with the short flag, I'm thinking I should be able to hit that green. But I somehow pull the shot. It goes too much to the left. I'm thinking I'm going to land in the green bunker to the left, but it goes just over that green bunker, and it ends up on the green, but on the complete wrong end of the green. It was 21 meters to the, 21 paces. I paced that off. And somehow I messed up with my camera, and it didn't film it, but it ended up being a 3-putt. It went downhill over a wave. I misjudged that. Anyway, it was a bogey. I take that. So this is the only par 5 on this course. It's a 9-hole short course. This one, the par 5 here in this hole, to me the second shot is the most difficult one. The drive's quite easy. You just need to get it in play. And it was a drive that felt awkward. It was rather short. It was only like 180 meters or something like that. But it landed on the fairway, and actually the position was not very bad. So I'm taking a 5-wood right here. I cannot pull left because there's water on the left. You cannot go right because there's out of bounds on the right. That's what makes the second shot difficult here. But I'm feeling confident that I can pull that off. And I hit that not too bad. It fades a little bit to the right and ends up in the rough, but only on the first cut. So I'm okay with the result. I got about 80 meters to the flag right here. The flag is at the very beginning of the green. The green is like 25 meters deep or something like that. But the flag is at the very beginning. So I just need to get it to the beginning of the green. It's a 3/4 pitching wedge for me. And it went quite okay in the direction, had the right spin, was slightly short, but as you can see, not too far away from the flag, right on the green edge. I putt towards the flag, and that was an okay putt. I mean, yes, of course, it's always nicer when it goes in, but it's ultimately a 2-putt par, and it leaves me just with the tap in right there. And par on that par 5, I'm always happy with that. I've played quite a few balls out of bounds there into the water before. So this is the short par 4, but there's quite a few obstacles in the landing zone. So I drive with a 5-wood right there, fill myself from the front this time. It was not a good swing. It faded away to the right, which is actually the one thing you want to avoid because there's a penalty area to the right. There's no water in that penalty area, but the lies are going to be horrendous, and I had a really bad lie right there. The ball way below my feet. I tried to pull off what I could, and it was actually quite a good result for the lie that I had. Didn't make it all the way to the green, but I didn't think I was, but I took a pitching wedge on purpose because I needed that steep swing. So here I am left with a chip very similar to the one that I had messed up on hole number 5. So I'm thinking, don't leave that one short, don't leave that one short. Make sure that you get onto the green, and this time it worked better. Again, I could have done with a little bit more roll, but it was a much better chip, and I have a good chance of putting that in, which I unfortunately don't do because it breaks to the right. I misread the green again, but it's a bogey again, and I take the bogey. I think I'm 7 over for the round after 8 holes right now, and this is the last hole. It's 140 meters par 3, but the flag is at the end of the green, so it's going to be about 150 meters. I have my 5-iron in my hand, and as I'm seeing the video, I'm realizing that I'm not aiming right. I'm not really aiming at the flag, which was what I was intended, but I'm aiming to the right of the flag. I actually make quite a good contact with the ball, and the ball flies exactly where I was aiming and ends up to the right of the green on the green edge. Something to, I guess I need to work on. So there's the ball on the green edge. I need to putt. I know that this is going to break from right to left. So I'm putting a little bit further right, the flag, but then it breaks more than I would have thought that it would. And so I end up under the flag, but I'm going there and thinking, okay, well, it's about a meter, but I should be able to do that in. It's another par. That's not bad. End with a par. That's good. So I putted in. No, I missed that just by a few millimeters to the left of the hole. No way. Okay, it was a tap in. It was a 4, but let me try again. Come on, I got to do this putt. Uh-oh, same mistake again. Come on, you got to do it. You can do it. Come on. There it is. But of course it doesn't count. It was a 4. I end with a bogey, +8 over 9 holes, which is actually two shots under my handicap. So I'm okay with that, but there was potential for more. It took me a little over 1.5 hours. Usually I play this course a bit faster, but of course with setting up the camera and everything, it took longer. It was a lot of fun. It's a nice place to visit. It's a nice course to practice. It's of course not very long. It's not a championship style course or anything like that. But if you want to practice, and as far as practice facilities on the range, I believe the Golfclub Schwechat is at least the best that I know in the area around Vienna. So if you're ever around Vienna, feel free to drop by and play around in Golfclub Schwechat, who, by the way, do not pay me to say that, but it's simply the place where I learned to play golf. I really enjoy going there, and good luck and thanks for being with me on A Round of Golf.